I was really expecting a lot of positive things from Enshrouded, the most played game on the Steam charts during 2023's Steam Next Fest. Enshrouded is an open-world survival game. However, since the transfer from demo to early access, there really hasn't been enough work here done or content added for me to confidently recommend it to anybody who is interested. If you want to buy this game for yourself and play a somewhat relaxing and casual grinding game with very minimal survival elements, then it's fine. But if you want to play with a few random people online, don't. It is very similar to the Rust community, and while there is no communication or voice chat, there is an overabundance of pure griefing. Did you just make a base? Okay, well, let somebody come to your server and steal everything over and over again. Progress is tied to your character, so if you don't want to work on anything, just go to somebody else's server and steal everything that they own. The developers stated that they are enforcing this game as a game for solo players and people who have friends to play with. There are no administrative commands, locks, or limits. If it's on the server, anybody can claim it for themselves. If you're playing with others, you can only have 2 bases in the early game, which is shared by everybody, meaning nobody else can build bases, which is usually always going to be the same spot every time you start building because it's the best place to start up your first flame altar. This time around, I didn't have anybody to play with because they're all playing Palworld, which has anti-griefing measures in place. I suppose it's worth noting that there is no PvP to fight other players, nor is there in-depth survival features such as the need to drink and eat, thus it's more of a casual experience. The voxel elements felt a little bit more developed this time around, and it looks wonderful, especially when used on wood and gravel. People appear to be really outraged by the performance for some reason. If you played the demo or seen my earlier initial impressions, you would have noticed how bad it actually functioned in the demo version compared to now, especially in the Shroud. The game runs at a consistent 60 frames per second all throughout, although it did not appear to support 120 or anything greater beyond that, which is probably what they are complaining about. The game looks good, it sounds good, and the combat is fluid and responsive, though the fact does remain that this game is meant to be played with friends. The gameplay felt really walled off in terms of open world experience. If you want to play the game and make progress, you must gradually increase your resources and complete the tasks assigned to you. The problem that I had with this is that I feel like I'm an adventurous person. I simply want to explore and go somewhere where I shouldn't be allowed to go. Unfortunately, there is deadly shroud everywhere, and you will not be able to enter it until you get the necessary gear, which will prevent you from dying immediately. So it consists of gathering resources, building bases, waiting, and then fulfilling your quest, and then doing another quest. I felt like the early game bosses were a lot weaker, if not identical to those in the demo. I found the most efficient technique to farm materials outside of stealing from other players, which was sad and pathetic, is to create your own base on a high hill next to a monster camp, reload the server, and reset everything, and then glide down to get resources and fast EXP. Like, it's not a bad game if you have friends who are less likely to harass you, steal and demolish your bases, and genuinely play the game with you rather than against you, or if you prefer to play alone and do some chores here and there while killing some bosses. It's a decent game, but I felt like it was a step down from the demo.